the 8 Tails.
It's the 8 Tails. Hey guys, it's Christian and Corey from SuperKamiGuru9000, and this is our review of Naruto Chapter 566.
The beginning of our chapter opens up with Killer Bee, who has just transformed into his full 8 Tails state. While this is going on, Naruto is falling to the ground, and as he's doing this, there's a really funny speech bubble, and it's worded out what he's saying as he's falling, and it's ooh-wah. Kind of sounds like a giraffe dying.
Hey, did you hear that? Sounds like a giraffe is dying over there.
Killer Bee eventually catches Naruto, and he gets to use a brand new technique where he wraps all of his tentacles around himself and starts spinning rapidly. This is his 8 Tails whirlwind technique, and he just destroys the forest.
As B is attacking, we go to the war room and we learn a few things that almost all the 7 swordsmen have been defeated except for one of them. You know, wow, thanks for showing us that fight, guys. Yeah, no joke. We see that the Kages can't go help Naruto because they all need to stay there and defeat Madara, and then they start talking about a few of the squads and which one would be most likely to end up to go help Naruto.
We eventually cut back to Killer Bee and the devastation that was left on the battlefield. The entire forest is pretty much gone now, and that was just a really cool looking technique, but it's not over yet. He has even more cool things. Naruto wants to know if Killer Bee has any sealing techniques, and luckily he does. Being that he's an octopus, he can produce the ink and everything, and he has this ink technique where basically he creates these clones of Killer Bee that are all entirely made of the ink, and they go after all of the Jinchuriki, and they wrap themselves around them, and they actually start to eventually freeze them. It's kind of hard how they describe it. Basically, once all of the ink has covered the opponent, they'll freeze, and they're like, hell, when we do that, why did I start doing that? Once the Jinchuriki are finally frozen, they're going to be able to remove those chakra rods, thus freeing them from the Rinnegan's hold. So, they start counting down the technique. 3, 2, fuck you! Guess what happens? All of the freaking Jinchuriki turn into their version 2 chakra modes, and they look freaking awesome. They even retain some of their personality qualities in their look.
Like the first one, which is the turtle, 3 Tails, looks great. The whole panel looks awesome. Okay, so now that all the beasts are in their Tail 2 chakra modes, they start attacking B and Naruto, and honestly, they're pretty successful at it. They nail Naruto with Coral Fist, and they, like, melt B's hand. And yeah, they have some cool attack names, but they're pretty much, you know, just punch you, kick you, and then yell out your name, standard anime stuff. And at this point, a gigantic dolphin horse.
That's a huge bitch!
Just shows up in front of B and just annihilates him and ends up like shanking him in the shoulder with his horn stab, and it was pretty cool.
So while the 8 Tails has just been owned by the freaking dolphin horse, god
Yay!
damn, that's ridiculous sounding. Toby and Naruto are starting to have a little fight, and things immediately go in Toby's favor. He's literally about to capture Naruto. But before he can do this, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, something I never really expected, Kakashi and Guy show up, and they start to attack Toby. But Toby has a technique where everything just goes through him, so it doesn't work. There is something really cool about this panel, however. There is a brand new technique, and that's used by Guy. You can see when he actually comes in, he's doing a really cool new kicking technique, which I'm going to dub the dynamic penetration technique. And you can see that he's actually kicking right through Toby's asshole, all the way out through his freaking eye socket. That's like the most badass technique I've seen in the entire series.
That's the end of the chapter. Okay, I lied. The chapter's not over. The chapter ends with Guy and Kakashi standing there looking like badasses. And Guy obviously already has like a gate open because he's got chakra, or his sweat or something. I forgot what it is, like enveloped around him. And it's
disgusting.
Pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. That's the end of the chapter. What did we think about this chapter? Well, I liked it. A lot of good action. It was consistent throughout. We got to see all the Jinchuriki do things, even if it was just Coral Fist and whatnot. And I would say this was not the Godzilla battle I was looking for. But it was still pretty enjoyable. And the dolphin horse showing up, awesome. It's good to know that they can actually take their beasts that far. And then, you know, the end with Kakashi and Guy. I mean, awesome. We're about to see some of the Leaf's best go up against, you know, some of what the enemy has, which are some of the best enemies, too. I mean, all the Jinchuriki fighting B and Naruto, it's a pretty awesome fight.
Yeah, this was definitely a pull-no-punches chapter. You know, like Christian was saying, it wasn't the Godzilla battle we were hoping for. Tokyo really wasn't destroyed. But there were a lot of things that I really liked. You know, the fact that the 5 Tails actually materialized and came out, that was the thing that gave me a lot of hope, because even though it didn't happen in this chapter, in the next couple ones, I can imagine all of them at least transforming into these full states. It'll be kind of disappointing to not see Shukaku there, just because I'd like to see all 9 of them there, and I think that would be really cool. But still, I can't complain, because there were a lot of really cool things this week. I loved the version 2 Chakra Cloak that the Jinchuriki wore, like when they went all crazy and got all pissed off after the ink technique. And it all just looked really, really cool. And again, at the end, I can't wait to see, Kakashi and Guy. I mean, these are some of the most powerful ninja in the entire freaking series, all in like one area right now. Arguably, really the most powerful ones. I mean, these are like the main characters here, so this is going to be a really, really big brawl. I think if Michael Bay had a select number of chapters that he really liked from Naruto, this would be one of them, because it was just a bunch of really big explosions and things going crazy all over the place. There were literally about 4 explosions all in this chapter, and all of them were really freaking cool. But there really wasn't that much substance this week. Nothing really that proved that the story can move along any further from what's going on right now. So we're just going to give it an 8 out of 10 this week. But there's still a lot of hope. With Kakashi and Guy showing up, there's no telling what's going to happen.
It's that time of week again, when we ask you a question about this week's Naruto chapter. And this question that I have for you is, do you think Kakashi and Guy are going to fight Toby or the Tailed Beasts? Let me know with a comment below. Corey, you got one too, though.
I do. My question of the week has to deal with the 7 swordsmen. You remember those guys that we were introduced to a good 20 or so chapters ago, it seems. And, we were expecting a lot to happen, but apparently they've been defeated mostly off-screen. But we do know that there's probably at least one swordsman left. Personally, I think it's Mangetsu, but I want to know what you guys think. You can let us know with your comments below.
Hey, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. It helps us out. Later, guys. SuperKamiGuru9000 out.